All right. So I wanted to provide you a little bit more of a sequence. So this won't be super long. I want to give you things that are easy to fit into your life. You know, with things open, there are many yoga classes and things like that available, but trying to provide you something that is quick, but is tuning you into your body, your breath, and a certain quality of energy. So I want to connect to a little bit of that core strength, our inner strength, that inner fire that we need sometimes to meet challenges or meet life without backing away, but we're also not blazing through either. So we want to be able to find a bit more of a balance of making our movements from our inner self rather than pushing through and trying to force things to happen, trying to come from a place of breath, of presence, of inner awareness. Almost like if that fire begins to burn a little bit brighter, we have more awareness of what is actually happening within our body. Okay, so you can stand towards the front of your mat. I'm going to stand here just for now. So we did something very similar in one of the other videos. So just bringing your hands to your heart, taking some weight back into your heels. So automatically you might feel your pelvis pulling back. So your pelvis is stacked over your heels, your shoulders over your hips. And as you exhale, just turning a little bit towards your right. And you might even want to press your right hip forward so you can feel that strength through the side of your body. Come back to center. Take a deep breath in. As you press through your feet, feel like you could lift your rib cage up. And exhale, turning the opposite way. So as you exhale, really feeling that squeeze, that connection through the side of your waist. Inhale, lift up. And exhale to your right. Once more, lift and exhale, left. Good. So come back to center. I'm going to move to the top edge. If you're not there already, you can as well. So inhale, lift. As you exhale, turn a little bit to your right, pressing your hip forward. See if you can keep weight back over your heels. Good. Come back through to center. And then as you exhale, lifting your left knee. Take a deep breath in, get taller, and then see if you can slowly step your toes back. You might need to do that in a few little baby steps. That's fine too. And you can always come right down to your back knee here. As you exhale, any amount, turn to your right. So what you're going to feel here, again, a little bit of strength as you twist, but also a nice stretch through the front of your left hip. Come back to center. Reach your arms up. See if you can softly let your knee come down, twisting towards your right. Let your arms open, and they might be a little bit more off to the side. So you don't need to feel like you're cranking your arms open. And then just see if you can tilt your tailbone down a little bit. Good. Inhale, come back through to center. You can untuck your toes and bring your hands to the top of your thigh and round out. So I'm pushing forwards towards my knee and pulling my navel in. Come back to center. Pressing forwards towards my knee, rounding and hollowing out. Come back to center. Once more. Round. Reach up through your arms, curl your toes under, and see if you can float your back knee. Draw your navel in, front low ribs in if you can. And then if you are able, press through your back heel. You can always come back down to your knee. And then as you exhale, drop your fingertips down and take a few little steps or one big step all the way forward. Inhale, using the strength of your legs, press down, lift up halfway. Exhale, soften your knees, just fold over your legs. Let your knees be soft, don't worry about straight legs. Really let your spine release and lengthen. And then press down through your feet, just rounding, coming back to standing, looping your shoulders. Good. So inhale, reaching up into your arms, taking your hands back to heart center, turning towards your left, pressing your left hip a little bit forward. Come back to center. Once more towards your left. And then lifting your right knee. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, again, you can always take little tiny steps back or one big step back. As you breathe out, turn towards your left. So if you need to, come down onto your back knee. If you can keep your back knee lifted, as you twist, you'll feel the stretch through the front of your hip. And again, a gathering of strength through the side of your waist. Good. Come back to center, reach up, draw your back knee down, and turn towards your left. So each breath, try and lift up away from your waist. As you exhale, feel like you might be able to twist a little bit deeper. Good. Come back to center, taking your hands onto the top of your thigh. You can untuck your toes and press forwards towards your hands. Scoop your navel in. And soften. So just notice the difference. And press towards your knee. Hollow out. And soften. Once more, press. And soften. Curl your toes under, reach your back or reach your hands back up, float your knee. Using the strength of your legs, and then see if you can press back into your heel. Again, you can always keep your back knee down or bring it back down. And then as you exhale, take your hands, fingertips to the mat, step your back foot forward, use the strength of your legs, lift up halfway, see if you can draw your shoulders back. Exhale, folding over your legs. Good. Press down, roll your spine, come back to center. Good. So reaching up again, and then taking your arms wide. So goalpost-like position, but try and feel like your forearms were being pulled apart. So my shoulders aren't shrugging, I'm actually letting them drop deeper. Good. And then if you can, feel like you could lift up into the top of your chest. So you can let your belly lengthen. Few breaths. Feel like it's moving into the sternum bone and across your collarbone. And then even soften your knees just slightly and press your forearms forward. So you're hollowing through your chest. You're drawing your navel, your front low ribs in. See if you can keep your elbows lifted in line with your shoulders. Good. And then opening up once again. So you'll notice how my belly, my hips will dip forward. So see if you can keep this space open across your chest, but then as you exhale, can you drop your tailbone towards the floor and draw your front low ribs in with your exhale? So as you breathe, try and maintain that space open across your chest. As you exhale, navel to spine, tailbone drops. Breathe. Should be a little bit of effort. Inhale. And exhale, release your arms, loop your shoulders. Good. So we're going to do another version of that. So press down through your feet, reach up. Make sure you're close towards the top edge of your mat. Exhale, fold forward. This time bend your knees. See if you can place your palms on the mat. We're going to step back into a plank and then come to a tabletop position. So we're going to go through cat and cow a couple of times. If you can follow my little adjustments, it's quite interesting, a little bit more interesting than typical cat and cow. So press down through your palms, let your tailbone drop, and try and press the mat forwards as you round. Take a few deep breaths into the space across the back of your body, your back ribs. And then shift your weight a little bit back towards your heels and pull your hands towards your knees. And breathe, deep breaths. Good, shifting forwards. See if you can take it a little bit more forwards over your wrist. Good, back to center. And then let your belly drop, let your tailbone lift, let your chest fall between your upper arms and pull your hands to your knees. If you can, a little bit forward and a little bit back. Come back to center, round once more. And then just tilt your shoulders towards your left. Feel like you're sending all of your breath into your right side body. Back to center, shoulders a little bit towards your right. Keep the round out. Back to center, and then let your belly drop. Shoulders to your right. Good. And then shoulders to your left. Good. Come back to center. Now, if you need to, at any time, you can sit back onto your heels. You can rotate your wrists, sometimes folding the front of your mat in and coming back onto your palms can give you a little bit of lift that you might need. Also, fists often work too. So, okay. So we're going to go back to the cat and cow for a moment. So see if you can drop your belly and let your chest open. Shoulders reach back towards your hips. Give yourself a couple of breaths here. So we're going to leave the top of our body as it is. So shoulders are open, collarbones are wide. And then just changing the bottom half. So let your tailbone point towards your back heel. So feel like you could actually round out through the lower half. You're not going to be able to, but you'll feel the strength in your belly as you do this. And then see if you can breathe. Keep pulling your hands back to your knees, belly in, tailbone back, chest open. Good, and then let it go, sink, and then press into your palms, round out. And then see if you can hold the round out through your upper body, but then just let your tailbone reach back. And then lift your gaze forwards just in front of your fingertips so you're more hollowed out through your chest. And then step your right toes back and your left. See if you can hold here for a couple of breaths. Good, drawing your navel into your spine. Continue to breathe. Good. Come back to your knees. You can widen them. Shift your hips back to your heels, child's pose. So let your forehead connect. Let your arms drop towards the mat. Good. So come back to center. Draw your knees under you. Curl your toes under. Press your hips back, downward dog. Good. So just pedaling through your heels, shifting your hips a little bit from side to side. Gazing forwards towards your hands. Step your right foot forward. Press back through your left heel. Turn towards your right thigh. Good. Come down onto your back knee, opening up. So feel like you could keep your knee facing forward. Each breath, find a little bit more length as you exhale, twist. And then taking your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh, stack your palms, and instead of kind of leaning into your bottom thigh or front thigh, press down through your palms and try and lift the side of your waist away from the floor. So you're using some of the strength of your arms. You might feel a little bit of support and gathering of strength through the left side of your waist. See if even here you can draw your navel into your spine and twist a little bit deeper. If you're stable, press through your back heel. See if you can breathe. Good. Exhale, release. Connecting into your palm, step back, find plank, come right back down to your knees. Let your belly sink, shoulders reach back, and then just letting your tailbone point back. Keep pulling your hands back to your knees, chest forward, but feel your low belly drawing up and in, tailbone back. Try and breathe here. Good, and then soften, round out. And then feel like you could drop your belly a little bit, let your tailbone move back, keep the round out through your chest, and then just lift your gaze a little bit forward. So you're pressing into the floor, you're hollowed out through your chest. Good. Keep your navel drawing a little bit into your spine. Step your feet back, plank, and shift your hips back, downward dog. Knees forwards to your hands. This time, left foot steps forward. Pressing into your right palm. Twist towards your left. See if you can slide your shoulders back. Come down onto your back knee, opening up. So each breath in, lift a little bit more. Each breath out, twist. Good. If you're able, draw your navel into your spine. And then maybe letting your elbow connect to the outside of your thigh, stacking your palm. And try not to sink down towards your leg, rather lift away from the floor and keep that twist happening. Navel points to your inner thigh. Front low rib, chest opens to the side wall. Maybe curling your toes under, pressing back. Good. Exhale, release your palms. Step back to find plank. Good. And just taking your knees open a little bit wide. Let your toes touch in center. And just draw your left palm right under your heart and open here. So if you open fully, you'll notice your hips will move with you. So see if you can keep your chest mostly open, but then turn your navel back to the floor. Try and keep your chest as it is. You might need to draw your arm a little bit off to the side. So navel points down. Deep breaths. This will be a little bit of a challenge. And then sweep your top arm all the way through and underneath. Maybe reaching up into your left arm or taking it behind you, pointing your elbow into the space just behind the back of your body. Good. Exhale, untwist, other side. So right palm comes right under your chest, opening up to your left. And then turning your navel back towards the floor if you can. So again, if you open up fully, if you let your hips go, it might feel really good, but we're lacking that strength. So see if you can keep open through your chest, navel turns back to the floor. A few breaths. You're going to feel this in your belly. And then threading your left arm under and through, reaching up into your right or taking your hand behind towards your low back or your left hip, letting your elbow reach into the space behind you. Good. Unwinding, draw your knees back together. Just letting your heels move out to the side, legs in front. Holding on behind your thighs. Come all the way down. And just draw your heels in close towards your pelvis. Press down through the backs of your shoulders and start to lift your hips, drawing your knees away from you. And see if you can even rock side to side, draw your shoulders underneath. But feel like you are trying to reach the center of your chest and your knees away from each other. So I'm reaching my knees to the side wall. And I'm trying to pull my chest towards my chin. So feel like you are lengthening out your belly between your pelvis and your rib cage. Deep, full breath. So it doesn't matter how high you go, try and lengthen. Good, and exhale, come down onto the back of your body. Good. Maybe take your feet a little bit wider, let your knees fall together in center. We're going to do one last little movement. So see if you can press through the back of your pelvis, reach your navel towards the ceiling so you have a little bit of space underneath your low back. So see if you can create that as you inhale, and then as you exhale, breathe all of your breath out and try and connect all of your lumbar spine back to the floor. So inhale, lifting your low back. Exhale, connect it down to the floor. Inhale, let it lift. Exhale, connect. So again, a little gathering of strength with the exhale. Inhale, let it lift. Exhale, connect. But we're just letting our pelvis rock back and forth. So connecting into a little bit of softness. Maybe it feels a little bit like a massage through your tailbone, but also feeling your breath, also staying connected to the movement. Good. Letting your low back drop or come to what feels like neutral for you. Just let your knees drop to your right. Maybe sweeping your left arm overhead. Okay, come back to center. And then knees down to your left, reaching into your right arm. Okay, come back to center. Now, you can stay here for as long as you like. You can outstretch your legs. Maybe just using a few deep exhales. Again, not to strengthen this time, but just to feel the energy of your body sink into the floor, sink into your mat. Feel like you could melt and give the whole weight of your body into gravity. Just softening the muscles of your face, releasing any tension, and just letting yourself be for a few more breaths, maybe for a few more minutes, but just noticing how you feel. How do you feel in your body after that quick little movement practice? And notice how it shifted, even just a little something for you. Thank you for practicing with me.